and LT. Previous slide 1 of 48. Next slide. MGT. Wilson County Sheriff Joe Tackitt Jr. talks to the media along Highway 87 across the street from the First Baptist Church of Sutherland Springs. Monday morning, November 6, 2017. In Sutherland Springs, Even as a seasoned emergency medical worker, Paul Brenner had no idea how bad it was going to be when he stepped into the First Baptist Church. "That guy shot kids," Brenner said, pausing. "It wasn't just like, I shoot you. He shot kids to the point of mutilation." When Devin Patrick Kelly unloaded 15.30 capacity magazines into the church that his in-laws regularly attended, it put Brenner and the rest of the volunteer Lavernia Emergency Medical Service on the front lines of what is now the worst mass shooting in Texas history. Read also, mass killer celebrated with churchgoers just days before the massacre at Brenner. The chief, and a 15-year veteran of the volunteer EMS, said when the call first came over around 11:30 a.m., he was at lunch with his family after church services. He said because it was gunshots, he thought he should head toward Sutherland Springs in case it was bad. And by bad, Brenner said he was thinking 2 or 3 victims. Mike Shaw said he heard on the radio as he was pulling up that there might be 15 people wounded. Then he walked inside. "I didn't know what was going on until I walked into the church. And I was like, oh my God," Shaw said. Babies, Brenner said, had been shot 2 or 3 times. He said it was clear more than 400 rounds had been emptied into the church. Despite the devastation, years of training kicked in for the volunteer EMS crews, most of whom have regular jobs elsewhere and donate their time for free to what is the closest EMS unit to Sutherland Springs. "You get in there and do what you've got to do," said Jamie Shaw, who is married to Mike and was in the first truck when they rolled up on the scene. Jamie Shaw said it was not unlike an athlete that goes into the zone and can focus on what needs to be done. Much of rural Texas is filled with volunteer EMS units. While there are government-funded units throughout Texas, communities like Sutherland Springs lean heavily on nonprofit volunteer EMS units to be the first line of defense when there is a car crash or for other incident. Those volunteer units are often on shoestring budgets like the Lavernia EMS, which operates on less than $150 a year, Brenner said. In most cases, volunteers have other full-time jobs. Mike Shaw, who is also an air conditioning tech, Jamie Shaw said it's just a way to give back to the community. "I just love giving back," Jamie Shaw said.